Joy for Children was started in 2005 to, among others, empower children and their families end child labor and sexual exploitation of children, and to advocate for strong legislation and justice systems that support children and their rights. In April 2017, Joy for Children organized the Girls Camp to strengthen girls' advocacy in order to have them at the center of ending child marriage. Moses Intenga, the founder, says the camp brings girls together to empower them to speak against child marriages as well as inform them about its effects.
This kind of a camp is just to bring girls, one, to hear their views on issues of child marriage and how they happen and what could be the drivers of this, but also to give them skills on how they can prevent them from happening in the first place, or in case they happen, what can they do. But also it is to tell them to discuss with them as well as share with them the information we have about the negative impact of child marriage.
After the first camp training in April, the girls pledged to carry out advocacy in their schools, churches and communities. Manji Fiona is age 13. She says the first camp was more than beneficial in as far as girl advocacy is concerned.
I learned many things from the first camp. I learned the meaning of advocacy and the causes of child marriage effects and many things.
Fiona says she was able to counsel her sister who fell in the trap of early pregnancy due to poverty and is willing to get back to school when any opportunity knocks. She decries apathy and lack of confidence and says that she intends to advance her advocacy efforts using music. She believes in knowledge transfer in order to advance girl advocacy.
At school, we had our head teacher told us we are going to teach our members, like our friends, about what we learned in the first camp. Then we gathered and then we taught them.
While in the field, the trainees discover that pregnant teenage girls are expelled from school and chances of going back to school as a teenage mother remain minimal. Further still, men just deceive girls and abandon them once they get pregnant.
I've seen some, though not from school, though they are still young, and you interact with them and they tell you life is really hard because you see a man, he sweet talks you and gives you some money. Then when you get pregnant, he's having another face.
Poverty and love for luxuries drives many young girls into unwanted love affairs.
I'm surrounded by slums, and I've seen most of the girls in slums are suffering the cause because most of them, because the high levels of poverty, that's one major problem. The parents cannot afford to give them necessities, and what they think is to get men to get money and have something they have.
Sumaya worked with Uganda Hands for Hope, where she transferred acquired advocacy skills and told them about reusable sanitary pads. Sumaya says she is now ready and confident to drive positive in slums.
Around where I stay, there is a certain organization helping kids in slums. It's called Uganda Hands for Hope. What I had to do, I had to go and ask permission from those administrators of that organization. And I was like, I learned something. I attended some camp, I learned something, and I want to transfer the same knowledge to those girls because most of them are suffering the cause. And they were like, it's okay, we can organize a date and you come and speak to them.
Sumaya's main challenge is that adults tend to ignore them as just kids whenever they reach out to communities. She blames some local leaders of indulging in acts of child marriage. She is appalled by increasing numbers of teenage pregnancies, which she vows to reduce.
And I remember one challenge I faced when I was in this committee of speaking to these girls of the organization. I was telling them, we can also tell our leaders, our leaders are drunkards, they take alcohol. So some of them are even engaging in that, they are pregnanting young girls. So how can you consult such a leader? Obviously, he's not going to be of good hope.
Another trainee, Eliza, was sourced all the way from Bugaya sub-county Buyende district. She is scared that majority girls have since married at an early age. After attending the first camp, Eliza and other girls embarked on holding small dialogues in their community. they were able to discover that neglect and discrimination in families causes child marriage, and no wonder some girls are lured into sexual intercourse by just 500 shillings.
Abana bagala babafuna mu askari nambuzi baidi omuntu okukulowida kwa mabedi baba baidi bajja kufuna. That is money.
Eunice Adongo, who comes from Bukuju sub-county in Tororo district, observes that most girls are driven by curiosity and hence end up in the trap of early pregnancies.
Girls ourselves, we want to discover good things. If they say sex, you ask yourself, how do sex taste like? How sweet is sex? Can I go and try? You're going to try. You don't know that trying at times can lead you to something else.
After the first camp, Adongo formed a 30-member youth club comprising of boys and girls to promote peer learning and positive change. Her biggest challenge in the field was people who view child marriage as normal and moving long distances. Adongo says they devised ways of keeping people glued to their teachings after realizing less attention. In her group, at least one girl went to school, while 4 more girls who were roaming across Malaba doing domestic chores to survive were convinced to get back to school.
After the first camp, we were 2 from Tororo. So we went back and we formed a club. In our club, we have 30 boys and 30 girls. Because we realized that we cannot do that, only girls. Even these boys also themselves, they are involved, they are the ones who make child marriage to increase. But if at least we try to address them and we put some idea on them, even if they are to do it, it can be reduced.
Adongo is passionate about positive change and asks leaders to take action in ending child marriage.
Both girls, local leaders, even our parents themselves, plus the religious leaders and cultural leaders. If we join hands, I know we cannot end child marriage, but it can be reduced because the way Uganda is right now, 46%, it is high.
Ntenga says deep-rooted cultural practices and language barrier impede the Joy for Children initiatives. Additionally, there is low implementation of laws as well as laxity by local leaders to fight child marriage. His dream is to see that camps are established in all regions to draw collective voices that shall influence national action against child marriage and related harms.
We have these girls happening and we want to call it, to be able to track them. They came, I think, the first camp. We came back to hear what they're saying. And then we keep them with more skills. And we pray, given the resources available, we might want to have more of these camps, but also to expand them. It would be nice to have camps at least every region. The north, the east, the west, and central. At least we have had some in central. But if we can take them deeper at regional level, and we have girls from different districts, in different localities, different circumstances. Say north, they are all emerged from war. So they have unique experiences compared to others. So that would be good. Go to Karamoja, they have unique experiences because of their circumstances. That also would be very good to have hear what they say as a group.